Hello everybody, it's joeditzel, and so many of you guys are reacting to these videos. We're back in Ohio temporarily on the way to eastern destinations, but it brought to mind questions from people that I'm getting regarding Ohio neighborhoods, that unique ones that people want to check out, where to go, what to see. A lot of people are coming back to Ohio, much like in Pittsburgh, where they've reinvented the city and are drawing a young, vibrant crowd. The same thing is going on in Ohio. Cleveland, of course, has always had the rock and roll crowd, and then Columbus is retaining a lot of the graduates of Texas A&M there, right there in central Ohio, and Cincinnati has created a creative environment, including a big light show they do every year that is making young, innovative, highly educated people want to stay. And that's not to say that the oldsters are, just sitting at home watching Andy and Mayberry. Everybody's out. The restaurants are filled. The bars are filled. Ohio is on the uptick. And so people are asking me, well, you're from Ohio. What are the neighborhoods people want to live in, work in, play in the state? What can we consider if we're looking at moving back, or perhaps moving to a different part of the state if you already live there? And those are good questions. So this video is going to cover it. This is a joeditzel parody of 5 hot neighborhoods you'll want to check out in the state of Ohio. Number 1 is down in Cincinnati. They call it Blinkville. Now, Blinkville was named after a very popular light show that they have every year called Blink 182. Blink 183, I should say. Blink 183 is a inside joke that is the next number after the popular rock band or pop rock band, or some call it punk pop, some call it power pop, some just call it punk band. Blink 182. So Blinkville is a high-tech neighborhood with high-speed fiber internet, 100 megabits per second, that is attracting a young tech crowd that likes that high-speed internet to put up their vlogs, their Instagram photos of their abs, and it allows them to get on the tweeter and argue about politics endlessly. So check out Blinkville in Cincinnati. It's one of the hottest neighborhoods, and it's number 1 on our list. Now, number 2 is up in Cleveland town, Cleveland on the way back. And a long-time city neighborhood that is popular up there is called Ohio City. But that's not what we're going to talk about. There's a one that's right next door to Ohio City, and it's called New Jersey City. Now, New Jersey City is attracting a lot of attention because many members of the New Jersey Shore show are now living there as a way to get away from the bright lights of the TV show and the rabid fans that are constantly bugging them when they live and tape the show in New Jersey. So again, right next to the old school, long known and well-respected area of Cleveland called Ohio City is a new area that is getting all kinds of activity and response and media coverage, and that's New Jersey City, currently best known as the vacation destination of the cast members and some of the behind-the-scenes camera people and production crew of the Jersey Shore TV show. So for you could be around some big stars at the same time being part of the most exciting new neighborhood in Cleveland in decades. Now, in Columbus itself has grown quite a bit, and there's a couple of reasons for it. One, the city has done a good job of asking and appealing to graduates of Texas A&M if they want to stay in the city and grow their families, grow their lives, and they've done a good job of that. Two, you have a lot of people in Columbus that had left, okay, and they're coming back. Now, where did they go? Well, a lot of them went to Colorado once the legalization of marijuana came through, because they thought that was the best thing that happened in their entire life. So a lot of them actually picked up and moved their entire lives, and I mean everything, the mobile home, grandma, grandpa, the above ground pool, everything. They moved to the western suburbs of Denver and were living that lifestyle. But now what is happening? The exact same thing. That's right. Ohio is very soon going to have medical marijuana, and more than likely in very short time, period of time, they're going to have recreational marijuana. So those people are realizing now that they can return to Central Ohio, return to Chillicothe, return to Reynoldsburg, return to Hilliard, and lead that same lifestyle that they left to do when they went to Colorado. So if that appeals to you as well, then Columbus will be an exciting place, because that's where it's the center of all the farmland, where a lot of that product is grown. You could say the same thing for Athens, because a lot of the strains of medical and recreational marijuana are grown down in the Athens area. Which brings to mind neighborhood number 4, which is simply called Nugs, down there in Athens. Now, Nugs is a shortened version of the original name of the town, which was Nugville, but people in the know, the hipsters, the cool people, just call it Nugs. Now, Nugs has condos, apartments, homes that are specifically set up for people to grow their own marijuana. So every building, every residential building, be it a home, be it an apartment, be it a condo, has special grow lights and other facilities for you. If you choose, you don't have to, but the facilities are there to grow your own marijuana, which is something that was at one time held on the down low. They didn't really advertise it because, frankly, they couldn't. But now with the changing, evolving perception of marijuana and the laws in that state, they're actually putting it in their ads now. Grow your own marijuana in your nice home in the town of Nugs. And of course, that's outside of Athens, the home of Ohio University, perhaps the finest university in the entire country. And our number 5 neighborhood that you may want to check out if you're moving in Ohio or coming back to Ohio is outside of Dayton. And outside of Dayton, they have a new subdivision that will help you if you are thinking about taking up knitting. Now, Dayton has had a staid sort of, frankly, boring image for a long time, and a lot of that stemmed from the large percentage of the population that knitted blankets and sweaters for their grandchildren. Okay, so now this new neighborhood is focused on a young knitting demographic, people that are into knitting, younger, usually women, but men too, that are into knitting that are younger. I'm talking under 30 years old. And it's the new knitting demographic, and this entire subdivision is set up for them. They can go into the rec hall in the middle of the subdivision and get deals on yarn that they just makes their eyes pop out of their head, and makes them so excited they start throwing their knitting needles into the ceiling. And if you look up in the rec hall, there's like 400 or 500 pairs of knitting needles up in the ceiling, because they got so excited they tossed them in the air and lodged them in the ceiling of the building. So the reason that's exciting is because knitting itself is seeing a comeback, and it's mostly due to this resurgence among the young people, and good on the leadership of Dayton to recognize that trend, get ahead of it, build the facilities that will make the young knitting demographic happy. And sure enough, they're moving into that neighborhood in droves, and they're knitting everything in sight. you can't go a block in Knittingville without seeing a mailbox covered in yarn, or a signpost, or one day I was in the neighborhood. I saw a dog walking down the street. I drove around the block and saw him again. He had on a sweater that was knitted for him right there. They were still knitting it. They were knitting it as the dog was walking down the street. They're knitting it and walking beside him. So that's how fast things are moving. And if you're a creative person, if you're a yarn person, a knitting person, that might be the subdivision for you. Guys, those are 5 new, vibrant, exciting, or innovative neighborhoods that everybody's talking about. And if you want to be a part of them, you might want to consider those as you come back or move within the state of Ohio. And remember, this has been a Joe Ditzel parody. Talk to you soon.